Nintendo is having one heck of a year, they're going to have one heck of a decade, and everybody else better watch out. The mascot that is a plumber is, well, plumb winning when it comes to the video game industry, but also beyond that, entertainment itself. Hollywood, take notice. However, when it comes to specifically the video game industry, the Nintendo Switch has dominated at a level we have frankly never seen, at a time when they were not supposed to do that, when we were told that it would be insane to think such a thing because consoles were on their way out. Nintendo had other thoughts. We'll tell you just how big this most recent news is on the other side. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. Every single one of you appreciated here. An attitude of gratitude for you joining us. Today we're talking about Nintendo. And specifically we're talking about the fact that the Nintendo Switch is on its way to becoming, this year, the best-selling video game console of all time. And that despite the entire industry, intelligentsia, the analysts, the pundits, all declaring that this was the end of consoles. 5 years ago, they were supposed to be dying off and mobile taking over. But Nintendo said, well, we've got something that's mobile, and we'd like to have a go with that. No, it's not phones or tablets. And would you look at that? The Switch is dominating. Folks, let's bring on the panel. Let's talk about it. You're going to love it right now. When we're looking at entertainment companies that are filling the void that Disney has left, Nintendo is one of those chief companies really taking over. Illumination, of course, another one. But here's what we've got. This out of CNBC by Arjun Karpal. Nintendo hikes sales forecast of flagship Switch console to 15.5 million units. And there's a significance to this, folks, that really, really matters, and it's worth our time and attention. That is that this is now putting the Switch on the path to becoming the best-selling console, video game console of all time this year. So let's get down to the article. Nintendo said on Tuesday it now expects to sell 15.5 million of its flagship Switch consoles in the current fiscal year, upping a previous forecast after it beat market expectations for December quarter profit and revenue. The Japanese gaming giant previously forecast sales of 15 million Switch consoles in the current fiscal year, which ends in March. Here's how Nintendo did in its fiscal third quarter from October to December versus LSEG estimates, and you can see there. Net sales fell 6% year on year, while net profit rose 18%. Wow. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe probably even more likely to deliver. Now, the gaming, of course, exploding. Nintendo doing a fantastic job. No,
whoa, such a deal. $100. Hold on, Pro. We got to get
Yes. We'll follow along with what Kramer says every single day and find out how not to select the trades.
But we're not giving financial advice.
No, we never would, and neither should he. But that said, I find it fascinating that at the same time that mobile gaming was supposed to explode and take off and be the absolute king of entertainment, Nintendo and Epic Games have come on the scene and really reset all of those expectations. Nintendo, of course, with a mobile console, but it's not mobile gaming, and it's now somehow still the best-selling console ever. It's going to be the number one ever at a time when that was supposed to be going to smartphones. And consoles were supposed to die. You guys remember 5, 6, 7 years ago, everybody said this is the end of consoles. We're going to reach the end of consoles because everything's going to cloud gaming and tablets. Nintendo has proven that's not true. And then you've got Epic, of course, which has become this massive force on all of the consoles and has proven, I guess, that the place to play these games is with the peripherals, the controllers in hand, and not just with a screen, although Fortnite available on screens as well. Nintendo, though, featuring in immense success right now. Guys, are you at all surprised, at all shocked that Nintendo is about to, in the year 2024, have its best ever console reach that finish line and surpass? What was it previously? The Nintendo DS, I think, was the prior holder for best console.
Yeah, Nintendo DS has 154 million units sold, and
what's the Wii at?
The Wii is at 101 million. Here, I got the chart. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I knew you. I figured you had the chart. If you didn't have it, I wasn't.
Bring up the chart, Jonas.
Yeah. Okay. So they're not selling any more PlayStation 2s at this point. And that here, I'll zoom in so it's a little easier to read.
For shame.
PlayStation 2 at 155 million. They're not planning on making any more of those, so that number is going to be stable. Nintendo Switch still in production. And by the way, if we look here at the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, those are both lumped together. Even though the Game Boy Color was kind of an extension, you couldn't use the same cartridges in the Game Boy Color as you could in the Game Boy.
No, you could.
Obviously, backwards compatible.
It was the other way around. You couldn't use Game Boy Color cards in the
right. So it was in some ways that's cheating, in my opinion. Much respect to the Game Boy Advance, the greatest portable console, non-hybrid. But 15 million more, and they've pretty much got it here. They've got this by the end of the year. As long as I'm
genuinely surprised the Wii was so low compared to the DS. I would have just. Every grandma I knew had a Wii.
How many homes are you aware of that have more than one console when it's a Switch?
Good point. Very good point. That's a very, very, very good point.
People will buy 2 Switches in a house, whereas most people would not buy 2 Nintendo Wiis for a house.
DSs have it's such a niche thing, but a lot of Nintendo DSs are being used by older people for their browser function or their camera function. I was what is this now, 4 years ago, I went to go see the Blue Man Group with my then girlfriend, and we were in the lobby and all the performers were coming out and they were doing a little meet and greet, and there was an older lady, probably in her 60s, maybe 70s, with a Nintendo DS camera, taking photos of them, and I was like, "What is that's crazy!" Well, I didn't know anybody did that.
Well, there's 2 things to it. First of all, the DS numbers. If they separate out the DS and the 3DS, this is hands down very easily, because it's 155 for the Nintendo DS and 76-ish for the 3DS. So if they combined that together, hands down. 225 to 230 million consoles,
and they already are with Game Boy. Come on, we saw that.
maybe they were an early adopter and they wanted 3D images of the Blue Man Group that you couldn't record, you couldn't capture on anything other than a device with multiple cameras.
With multiple cameras.
The thing I see here is that the Nintendo Switch, first of all, it has a metric ton of playable content. Obviously, it is the exclusive Nintendo device. They are the greatest software developer in the entire world because they move consoles with their software, which are exclusive and don't go anywhere else except for some weird experiment with iOS back in the day. Nintendo is a powerhouse, and the difference now is they're not run. May he rest in peace. Satoru Iwata was a games guy in a way that their current CEO is more of a numbers guy. So they're run and they have a little bit more control on the business side of things. And bless his heart, Shigeru Miyamoto is not able to upset the tea table, I think, in the way that he once was able to do. So they have a more robust flow of video games, and they're not splitting them up between 2 different consoles the way they used to with, say, the Wii and the 3DS, or the GameCube and the 2DS. Sorry, DS. The 2DS is an extension of the 3DS. So this focus on one hybrid console, I think, is the game changer, and the fact that they have that next generation that they have been honing to keep making content that honors the past. Nintendo has everything that Disney wishes it was right now. A grand tradition and a focus on fun, family accessible entertainment.
And it's fascinating to me as an outsider to this world that they've announced they've got this version 2 coming, but the sales of the current version apparently are still going strong. You would think that would be people say, well, I guess I'll wait. Just like, for example, they're saying, I guess I'll wait to go to Orlando until Epic Universe opens. But obviously not.
A lot of this has to do with, I think, at least from my perspective, I think it's a lot of what Jonas said, right? Where Switches, you might not get 2 Switches in the same house for kids, but these things are going to break. Other kids are going to want them. You might have another kid, and now you have 3 kids, and now maybe we get another one for 2 things. There's so many. It's so versatile, right? There's so many different situations you can use it in, and I'm not even surprised. Plus, there's the factor that nowadays with Sony, Microsoft, all these other companies going heavily into identity politics and all this stuff and censoring everything. Nintendo was the last console where they just go, all right, you want your game, you want risque imagery, you want swear words, you want whatever, bring it on in. We're not going to censor you. And I think that alone is pushing them over the edge.
Well,
and I'll also point out there that if you look at Animal Crossing right now, you can do whatever you want with that Animal Crossing character, but the boundaries are so tight that you're not making any big statements. You can put you can play that character male, you can play that character female. It's all on you, and you can put a dress on a character, and you can put a pantsuit on a character. It doesn't define the character other than it's the costume you've put on them. There is no selection of pronouns. They always refer to you as your name. So I don't know that I don't know how much Nintendo cares about this issue, but the fact that they have reduced it down to such a way that it's I don't want to say it serves them, but it might serve that audience potentially. Yeah, it does it in such an unobtrusive way that it doesn't offend anybody for the parents here. Now, okay, maybe you get into Bayonetta and there'll be something weird in there, but for the most part, the stuff for kids, it's fine.
On the new one, will it be the old games still play, or will the new games just play better? In other words, are there things for the new one that won't play on the previous versions?
Well, to answer that question, we don't know. So the current version of the Switch, if you go into the store, you can buy one of two different versions right now. I don't know if they still sell the original vanilla version of it, but there's one called the OLED model, which it may have a faster processor, but what it really has is a bigger, clearer screen, and that one is fully compatible with anything that they've made for the Switch. And then there's the Switch Lite, also fully compatible unless you have a game where you got to take the controllers off. The question that we all have with the Nintendo Switch 2 is this an extension of the Nintendo Switch 1? Or is this a brand new console that you'll have to get brand new software? So the jump from the Nintendo DS to the 3DS games did not work on the original DS, but everything was backwards compatible. Or you look at a situation like the Wii and the Wii U, which the Wii U looked like an extension of the Wii, but was in fact a brand new console. So that was very confusing. So Nintendo, this is theirs to screw up right now, and to confuse the audience.
And I think that is probably going to be one of, if not the biggest factors in how well this console does, because like I'm looking over here, I love physical media. I support it whenever I can. Switch is the last console that really pushes physical media for all of its releases. So I have them all, but they're all cartridges. They're all the tiny little cartridges. So are they going to keep that format, or are they going to switch it up like they did Wii to Wii U? That's where I'm concerned. If you have digital games, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be able to play them on the new hardware, but it's the cards I'm worried about.
Nintendo, I'm not sure. Maybe they will finally maybe they'll finally get with the times in this system. But I mean, I think Xbox to Xbox, Series X to whatever random name, they're going to call it like the first Xbox that was ever created in 1990. That'll be like the name of their next system, because that makes no sense. So it would be an Xbox.
Guys,
the proto Xbox.
Name. And we have come yet again to an end. But fear not, folks. We shall return. Same pro time, same pro place. 10:30 a.m., 3:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Eastern each and every day. The mainstream media doesn't know how, but we of course do. It's because you power us. You're the gigawatts. Folks, drop a like, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, we mean this. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.